I thought the alien woman was innocent when she welcomed me to her home part. 1 year passed since the day the dragons awakened. 1 year since the Sylvani virus was neutralized. 1 year of profound change for Earth and humanity. Olivia stood on the observation platform of the newly constructed Convergence Center, a massive structure built on an island in the Pacific Ocean, created through cooperation between human engineers and Draconi knowledge. The building was partly grown, rather than built. Its walls of living crystal responded to thought and need. Its spaces reconfigured as required, its purpose to serve as the central point of communication between species. Ember rested nearby, his great form curled around the platform, his scales shifting through shades of blue and gold reflecting his calm state. Through their bond, Olivia felt his contentment, his pride in what had been accomplished. Below them, the ocean sleeper Thalassa, as she had named herself, floated in the deep waters, her massive body visible as a shadow beneath the waves. Her mind connected to Olivia's through their permanent bond, a constant presence, a source of ancient wisdom and patience. The integration had not been easy. Humanity resisted change, feared difference, questioned everything. Initial panic had given way to cautious acceptance, then to growing partnership as the benefits became clear. The Draconi brought knowledge of healing, energy manipulation, space travel. The sleepers provided protection against any future Sylvani return. The bond between species offered new ways of understanding reality itself, but there had been resistance. Religious groups claimed the dragons were demons. Scientists worried about biological contamination. Military leaders feared dependency on alien protection. Politicians saw opportunity for power in aligning with or against the newcomers. Grace had become the public face of integration. Her experiences as a captive of the Sylvani, her role in the resistance, her participation in the convergence made her a powerful advocate. She traveled the world speaking to governments, organizations, ordinary people, explaining the history, the threat, the opportunity, gradually winning support, building bridges. Marcus led the scientific exchange. His background in xenobiology made him ideal to translate Draconi knowledge into terms human researchers could understand. New medicines, technologies, energy sources emerged from this collaboration. Diseases once thought incurable yielded to treatment. Cancer, heart disease, even aging itself began to be understood in new ways. Tara worked with those who showed potential for bonding. Children born after the convergence demonstrated greater capacity for the mental connection needed to communicate with dragons. The Draconi called them the first generation, the beginnings of a new evolutionary step for humanity, and Olivia. Her role was perhaps the most challenging. With Ember and Thalassa, she coordinated the planetary defense network, the sleepers positioned strategically around the globe, the orbital shield of Draconi ships, the early warning systems, the response protocols. For the Sylvani would return. The ancient enemy had retreated but not surrendered. The war continued in distant parts of the galaxy, each side gathering strength, preparing for the next confrontation. Today, representatives from every major Earth government would arrive at the Convergence Center, the 1-year anniversary of what was now called Awakening. Day A, symbolic moment to formalize the alliance between species, to sign treaties, establish protocols, define relationships. But Olivia knew the real purpose of this gathering through her bond with Ember and Thalassa. Today, the truth would be revealed, the complete truth about the galaxy, about the war, about humanity's place in it, the full history that had been shared gradually in pieces as people could accept it. Her communication device chimed, Grace calling from the arrival platform. The first delegates are landing, she reported. Everything is prepared, Olivia acknowledged, feeling a mix of anticipation and concern. This day had been carefully planned, every detail considered, every contingency prepared for. But humans were unpredictable, their reactions impossible to fully anticipate. You worry too much, Ember thought to her, his mental voice warm with affection. They are ready. Your kind adapts quickly. It is your greatest strength. Thalassa agreed, her thoughts rising from the depths like bubbles. The seedlings grow when given light and water, Humanity grows when given truth and purpose. Olivia smiled at the ocean sleeper's metaphor. The ancient dragon often spoke in such terms, seeing parallels between all living things, patterns that, repeated across scales and species. The delegations arrived throughout the morning. Leaders from America, Russia, China, the European Union, African nations, Asian coalitions, South American republics, all with their advisors, security teams, scientific experts, over 300 humans gathering in the great chamber at the heart of the Convergence Center. The chamber itself was a marvel of combined technology and biology. The floor appeared to be solid crystal, but responded to pressure like living tissue. The walls displayed images without projectors showing data from across the planet and beyond. The ceiling opened to the sky, allowing smaller dragons to enter and observe. The entire structure hummed with energy, both technological and biological. Olivia took her place at the central podium. Ember curled around the edges of the chamber, his great head near her shoulder. Thalassa connected through a pool of living water that extended from the ocean into the chamber. Grace, Marcus, Tara, and the other bonded humans sat in a circle around them, each connected to their dragon partner, each part of the network that now spanned the globe. The formal proceedings began with speeches from world leaders, expressions of gratitude for the defense against the Sylvani virus, commitments to continued cooperation, questions about future developments. The expected diplomatic language of such gatherings. Then came the moment Olivia had prepared for, the revelation. The full truth. She stepped forward, activating the central display. A three-dimensional image of the galaxy appeared: stars, worlds, nebulae, all rendered in perfect detail, honored representatives of Earth. She began. Today marks 1 year since our worlds changed, since we learned we are not alone in the universe, since the ancient guardians awakened to protect us from a threat we did not know existed. You have been told much of this story, but not all. Today that changes. Today you learn the complete truth about our place in the galaxy, about the war that has raged for millennia, about the future that awaits us if we choose to embrace it. The display zoomed in, showing Earth's solar system, then expanding to nearby stars. The Sylvani threat has not ended. Olivia continued. They have retreated, regrouped, but they will return. Their hatred of the Draconi extends to us as well. Their fear of what we might become drives them. The virus was but one weapon in their arsenal. They have others. They will use them. Images appeared of Sylvani ships, weapons facilities, the intelligence gathered by Draconi scouts, the preparations being made. The building of forces, we have established defenses, Olivia said, gesturing to points around Earth where sleepers maintained their vigil. We have allies. The Draconi share their knowledge, their technology, their protection, but this is not enough for what comes. The display shifted again, showing a different view of the galaxy, highlighting hundreds of worlds. Humanity is not alone in facing this threat, Olivia explained. Many worlds, many species have been targeted by the Sylvani, with potential to bond with the Draconi. Any who might threaten their dominance. Some have been destroyed, others enslaved, others fight as we do. The war spans the galaxy. The Sylvani seek not just victory, but extinction of all who might oppose them. Murmurs ran through the gathered delegates. This was new information, the scope of the conflict greater than previously revealed. But there is hope. Olivia continued. Through Ember, through Thalassa, through all the bonded pairs, we have learned of an alliance, a gathering of species united against Sylvani aggression. They call themselves the Convergence, taking the name from the power we demonstrated when we neutralized the virus. They have fought for centuries, preserved knowledge, saved worlds. The display showed images of beings from dozens of worlds, some humanoid, others wildly different, all connected to dragons or dragon-like beings, all part of a vast network. Spanning thousands of light years, the Convergence offers us membership. Olivia said, equal partnership in the alliance, protection, resources, knowledge, but also responsibility, commitment, sacrifice. We would not be just recipients of aid, but active participants in the greater conflict. Our world would become a fortress, a sanctuary, a training ground for new bonded pairs. One of the human delegates stood a woman representing the American government. What exactly would this membership entail, she asked. What would be required of Earth, Grace answered. Rising to stand beside Olivia, military cooperation, she said. Ships, crews, weapons. Our forces fighting alongside others against Sylvani expansion, scientific exchange. Marcus added, joining them. Sharing. Of all discoveries, advances, technologies. No secrets, no proprietary knowledge. The survival of all depends on the advancement of each. Tara stepped forward, her eyes glowing softly with the inner light of her bond. And evolution, she said simply, the acceleration of human potential, the development of more bonded pairs, the growth of abilities that now only a few possess. The next stage of what humanity can become. The chamber fell silent. The implications were enormous. Not just alliance, but transformation. Not just cooperation, but evolution. The convergence offered protection, but also profound change. A delegate from China stood. You speak of changing what it means to be human, he said, his voice. I thought the alien woman was innocent. When she welcomed me to her home, part force space unfolded before them in ways Olivia had never imagined possible. The dragons did not travel through it so much as bend it around themselves. Distance became meaningless. Stars blurred into streaks of light, then vanished altogether as they entered what Ember called the void between. The place where reality was thin, where great distances could be crossed. In moments, how is this possible? Olivia asked, her mind struggling. To comprehend the experience, she clung to Ember's scales, feeling their warmth even in the impossible cold of space. How can I breathe? How can I survive? You are connected to me now, Ember replied. His thoughts flowed directly into her mind, clear and powerful. We share life energy while you ride with me. The ancient bond between our kinds. Around them, the other dragons carried the remaining human survivors. Olivia counted 14 people who had escaped the Sylvani facility. Not many compared to the thousands who had been taken, but each one carried knowledge that might help save Earth. The void opened again, revealing stars in unfamiliar patterns. They had crossed vast distances in what felt like minutes. This is not our solar system, Olivia said, recognizing none of the constellations. Not yet, Ember confirmed. We cannot go directly to Earth. The Sylvani fleet orbits your world. We must gather our strength first. Meet with others of my kind. A planet loomed ahead, unlike Sylva, with its purple forests. This world was red and gold. Massive mountains reached toward space. Great oceans of what appeared to be liquid metal reflected the light of Three Sun Sanctuary. Ember explained. The last true Draconi world, hidden from Sylvani sensors. Protected by the oldest of our kind, they descended through swirling clouds into an atmosphere that shimmered with energy. The dragons landed on a vast plateau where hundreds more of their kind waited, beings of every size and color, some small as earth horses, others large as cities, all watching with ancient intelligent eyes as the newcomers arrived. The humans slid from their dragon carriers. Grace helped Olivia down Embers. Scales were still shifting colors, reacting to her touch. Welcome to Sanctuary, Grace said. Her eyes had returned to normal, the glow faded. Now they showed only exhaustion and relief. Few humans have ever seen this place. The plateau extended to a city unlike any Olivia had seen. Structures of crystal and living metal grew from the mountain itself, forming spires and domes and arches that defied gravity. Some buildings floated unsupported above the ground. Others phased in and out of visibility as if existing in multiple realities at once. Dragons moved through the city, some in their true forms, others in smaller shapes more practical for the enclosed spaces. Some wore what appeared to be armor or technological enhancements. Crystal devices hovered around them, projecting images and data. This is the Resistance headquarters, Marcus explained, joining them. His face was streaked with dirt and blood from the battle, but his eyes were alive with wonder. The true heart of the war against the Sylvani delegation approached. A dragon larger than Ember with scales like burnished gold led the way. Behind came others, including several beings that were neither dragon nor human. Their forms were fluid, shifting between states as they moved. The great gold dragon spoke. Its voice resonated in the air and in their minds simultaneously. You have done well, Ember. The signal is sent. The sleepers stir. But the Sylvani move faster than anticipated. Their fleet has begun the deployment of the virus. We have little time. Ember lowered his head in respect. We bring knowledge. These humans know the virus structure. They can help create a defense. The gold dragon turned its ancient eyes to the humans. Grace stepped forward as their leader. We need to reach Earth, she said. Our people have no defense against what comes. The warning we sent will cause panic confusion without guidance. The shifting beings moved closer. One solidified into a form almost human, but not quite. Its skin was translucent. Its eyes held the same inner light as the dragon's. They will have guidance, the being said. Its voice was musical, reminding Olivia painfully of Lyra. The sleepers remember their purpose. They will protect. Another being stepped forward, this one choosing a form that appeared elderly wise. Beyond protection, your people need understanding. The truth has been hidden for too long. The gold dragon nodded. Time grows short. The Sylvani virus enters your atmosphere within hours. We must prepare you. The group was led into the city, into a chamber that seemed to exist in multiple dimensions at once. Walls shifted and changed as they walked. Spaces opened, revealing technologies beyond human comprehension. Beings of various forms worked at tasks Olivia could not understand. Here the process will begin. The gold dragon said. What process? Olivia asked, awakening. Grace replied before the dragon could. The reason Ember chose you specifically. The reason you were brought to Silva, one of the shifting beings approached Olivia. Its form stabilized into something almost human, with features that reminded her of ancient Earth statues. You carry the strongest connection, it said. Its voice bypassed her ears, speaking directly to her mind. Like Tara, like Grace, you have the ability to bridge worlds. The being extended a hand made of light. Olivia hesitated, looking to Grace for guidance. The older woman nodded. It does not hurt, she said. Her eyes glowed faintly, showing she had undergone this process. I have been awakened. The memories are overwhelming at first, but they settle. They integrate. Olivia took the beings. Hand light flowed up her arm through her body into her mind. The world around her vanished. She saw the galaxy as it was billions of years ago when the first intelligent species evolved. She saw the Draconi emerging from primordial oceans, their bodies, changing, adapting, taking to the skies, then to space. She saw them discover other worlds, other life nurture. It guided its evolution. She saw the Sylvani too. Their world of crystal and living metal. Their rapid development, their hunger for knowledge, for power, for immortality. She saw the first contact between species, the initial peaceful exchange, the growing Sylvani obsession with Draconi longevity, the first betrayal, the first harvest of Draconi life energy, the first extension of Sylvani lives. Through death she saw war, the galaxy burning, stars dying. Worlds shattered, billions of lives lost on both sides, neither able to claim final victory. She saw the Draconi plan, seeding worlds with protected life forms that might one day evolve to help restore balance. Earth was one such world. Humans were not Draconi creations, but they had been guided subtly. Their evolution nudged toward compatibility with Draconi, energy toward the ability to form mental bonds. She saw the Sylvani discovery of Earth. Their rage, their fear, their determination to eliminate the threat before it matured. The capture of humans. The experiments. The development of the virus. She saw the sleepers. The great dragons who volunteered to remain on Earth. Dormant, hidden, protecting the young species as it grew, waiting for the signal to awaken. The vision faded. Olivia found herself on her knees, Grace supporting her. The chamber had changed again. Now it contained a great pool of liquid light. Beings of all forms surrounded, It working with energies and materials beyond human understanding, the gold dragon spoke again. The virus enters Earth's atmosphere in 5 hours. Our ships move to intercept, but the Sylvani fleet is vast. We cannot stop all carriers. The sleepers awaken, but they are few, weakened by millennia of dormancy. They need guidance, they need the bonded. The bonded. Olivia asked, her mind still reeling from the visions you grace. Others with the ability, Marcus Terra. Those whose minds can connect with the Draconi. Those who can channel the energy required to neutralize the virus, the gold dragon explained. Each sleeper must bond with a human guide to direct their power. Precisely. Grace helped Olivia to her feet. The older woman looked different now. Her eyes permanently held a hint of that inner glow. Her movements had become more fluid, more graceful. She seemed both more human and less. The process has begun. The gold dragon continued. The humans who escaped with you are being prepared. Others who were rescued before are already bonded. They return to Earth now ahead of you to prepare the way. The transition will be difficult. Your world will resist change. Your people will fear what they do not understand. One of the shifting beings approached with a crystal device. It projected an image of Earth. Patches of light appeared across the surface, focusing on oceans, mountain ranges, deserts. The sleepers awakened, the being said, its voice reverent. These are the emergence points. The first are already rising. The image zoomed in, showing massive forms breaking the surface of Earth's oceans, rising from mountains, emerging from deserts. Dragons larger than any Olivia had seen even here. Their scales still crusted with earth and ice from long slumber. Their eyes opening for the first time in millennia. Panic spreads, Grace said. Watching the images, news reports, military responses. Governments cannot understand what is happening. We sent the warning. Olivia said. They should be prepared. The gold dragon made a sound like distant thunder. Words are not enough. It said, your kind needs demonstration proof. The Sylvani know this. They will use the confusion to deploy their weapon. While your world focuses on the sleepers, the virus will spread. Another image appeared showing Sylvani ships in orbit around Earth. Small craft descended, entering the atmosphere, carrying canisters that released clouds of glittering particles. The virus. Marcus said, his face grim. It will spread on air currents, enter water supplies, infect billions within days. Another being approached. This one in the form of a human woman, though her skin shimmered with inner light. The defense is ready, she said. I thought the alien woman was innocent when she welcomed me to her home part. The humans in the hidden chamber moved with purpose. Each had a role, a task assigned long before Olivia arrived. They wore mismatched clothing, some items clearly of Earth, origin, others made from Sylvani materials. A woman with gray-streaked hair worked at a crystal console, her fingers dancing across surfaces that responded to her touch. A young man monitored screens showing different areas of what Olivia now realized was not a cottage but a vast complex disguised to appear small and harmless. Grace led Olivia to a central table where a holographic display showed the structure they were in. It was enormous, extending deep underground with branches spreading for miles beneath the purple forest. This is the primary Sylvani research facility on this continent, Grace explained. There are others scattered across the planet, all disguised, all working toward the same goal. The elimination of humanity. But why, Olivia asked, if the war ended thousands of years ago, why continue it now? A tall man with dark skin approached. He had a scar running from his temple to his jaw. His eyes were hard but not unkind. Because it never truly ended, he said. My name is Marcus. I was a xenobiologist on the exploration vessel Horizon. We were captured 5 years ago. The Sylvani have been taking humans for decades, studying us, experimenting on us, because they think we're descended from their ancient enemies. Olivia said, these Draconi, Grace, and Marcus exchanged looks. That's what they claim, Marcus said. But the truth is more complicated. The Sylvani weren't the victims in the ancient war. They were the aggressors. The dragons were peaceful explorers until the Sylvani began hunting them for what purpose. Grace touched the holographic display. It shifted, showing images of Sylvani much older looking than Lyra. Their skin dull, their movements slow, immortality. She said, The Draconi have natural lifespans of thousands of years. The Sylvani discovered they could extend their own lives by harvesting Draconi life energy, but the process kills the donor. The Sylvani became addicted to longevity. They hunted the Draconi to near extinction. The display changed, showing images of the war Olivia had seen in Lyra's chamber, but from a different perspective. Dragons defending their worlds, not attacking Sylvani ships firing first. Dragons protecting smaller creatures that might have been primitive humans. You said Ember called to my ship guided me here, Olivia said. How did he know about me? Marcus gestured to a woman sitting cross-legged in the corner. Her eyes were closed, her expression peaceful. Tara was a telepath on Earth. She worked for a classified government program studying paranormal abilities. The Sylvani took special interest in her. They believe humans with psychic potential show the strongest Draconi genetics. The woman Tara opened her eyes. They glowed with inner light, similar to embers. The dragons have always been connected. To certain humans, Marcus continued. Not all, just those with the right neural patterns. Those connections are what the Sylvani truly fear. They believe, if enough humans develop these abilities, the Draconi consciousness could reawaken. A tremor ran through the facility. Dust fell from the ceiling. Screens flickered, showing images of destruction. A massive dragon tore through what had been Lyra's cottage. Its scales shifted through every color of the spectrum. Its wings spanned what seemed like hundreds of feet. Ember Grace whispered. His true form. Olivia stared at the creature that had been the small dragon by the hearth. The transformation was incredible. The being on the screen could not possibly have fit inside the small body she had. Known they bound him, Grace explained. The Sylvani technology can compress their true forms, contain their power, but the bindings weaken over time. Ember has been planning this for centuries. How many others are there? Olivia asked. How many dragons more than the Sylvani know? Marcus replied. But fewer than there once were. The ones who survived the war scattered, hid themselves. Some, like Ember, infiltrated Sylvani strongholds. Others sleep in remote places, gathering strength. The tremors grew stronger. Emergency lights flashed. We need to move, Grace said. They know where we are by now. Lyra will send hunters. The group gathered equipment quickly. Each person took specific items, tools, weapons, communication devices. The gray-haired woman downloaded data from the crystal consoles. The young man set charges on the equipment too large to move. Olivia was given a pack containing what looked like Earth technology modified with Sylvani components. This is our best chance, Grace explained, her voice urgent. The communication array. It can reach Earth instantly, send warnings, bypass all Sylvani blocks. But we need someone who understands both human and Sylvani systems to operate it. Ember told us you were coming, that you had the skills we needed. The responsibility was overwhelming. Olivia had been a survey pilot, not a communications expert. But looking at the hopeful faces around her, she could not refuse. I will try, she promised. They moved through narrow passages that seemed to shift and change as they walked. The structures were partly alive, Marcus explained, growing and changing according to Sylvani needs. The rebels had mapped the most stable routes, secret ways that bypassed main corridors and security checkpoints. As they moved deeper into the complex, Olivia learned more about her companions. Each had been taken from Earth or human colonies. Each had skills the Sylvani valued. Marcus had been studying alien biology. Tara had psychic abilities. Others were engineers, physicists, soldiers. All had been selected for traits that made them valuable test subjects. And Grace. She was their leader. Though not the first human to escape Sylvani control, she had survived longest, learned most about their captors. She had found others, hidden them, organized them. They called her the Ghost because she could move through Sylvani security without detection. How many humans have the Sylvani taken? Olivia asked as they paused at a junction. Thousands, Grace replied. Most don't survive the experiments. Those who do are kept in stasis, studied further. The Sylvani are thorough. Their virus has been tested on human subjects for generations. The thought made Olivia sick. She remembered the preserved bodies in Lyra's laboratory. We've tried to save as many as we could, Marcus added. But our resources are limited. Our priority has to be stopping the weapon. The group moved again. This time through what appeared to be a storage area. Rows of containers similar to those Olivia had seen in the laboratory, but larger lined, the walls. Each was marked with symbols she could not read. What are these, she asked. Marcus checked the symbols and his expression darkened. Subjects for the final phase. They are in suspension. Not dead, not alive. Waiting. Human subjects. He nodded. Can we help them? Not now, Grace said firmly. Later. If we succeed. If we stop the transmission. If we contact Earth. A sound like crystal breaking echoed through the corridor. Everyone froze. Hunters, Grace whispered. They found us. The group split into predetermined teams. Marcus led several people down one passage. Grace, Tara, Olivia, and two others took a different route. The plan had been prepared long before. The teams had different objectives, different escape routes, all leading to the same final destination. Grace led her team upward through passages that grew narrower and warmer. The walls here pulsed with veins of light that responded to their presence, dimming as they passed, trying to hide them. How much farther? Olivia asked. Almost there. Grace replied, The transmission center is beneath the crystal spire. We saw from the forest, remember? Olivia recalled the crystal formations that sang when touched. A disguised antenna, perhaps. The passage opened into a vast chamber. The ceiling soared hundreds of feet, overhead made entirely of crystal that allowed the orange sunlight to filter through, bathing everything in amber glow. The floor was a complex pattern of metallic circles and lines, creating what appeared to be a massive circuit. And in the center, a pillar of pure energy stretched from floor to ceiling, pulses of data visible as ripples of color moved through the beam. The transmission array, Grace said reverently. This connects to every Sylvani outpost across the galaxy, including the ships, positioned near Earth. One of their team, a young woman with close-cropped blonde hair, moved to a console near the array. Her fingers flew across the surface. The virus package is queued for transmission, she reported. It will broadcast in less than 30 minutes. Can you stop it? Olivia asked. The woman shook her head. Not from here. The authorization comes from the council chamber. We can delay it, create interference, but not stop it completely. Then we need to send our own message, Olivia said, warning to Earth. Grace nodded, gesturing for Olivia to take position at the main console. The interface was unlike anything she had seen before. Half Sylvani technology responding to thought and touch, half adapted human systems with recognizable controls. Olivia studied it quickly. Her pilot training included communication systems. Though vastly more advanced, the principles seemed similar. She identified input mechanisms, transmission protocols, targeting systems. They need to know what they're facing, she said to the others. How to detect Sylvani ships, how to recognize the virus. Tara stepped forward, placing her hands on Olivia's shoulders. I can show you, she said. Her eyes glowed brighter. Images flooded Olivia's mind. Sylvani ship signatures, the molecular structure of the virus defense protocols that might protect against it. The knowledge of a dozen captured scientists compressed into seconds of pure information. Olivia gasped at the influx of data, but her hands moved with new certainty. Across the console, she began coding the warning message, including everything Tara had shared. An alarm sounded. The light in the chamber shifted from amber to red. I thought the alien woman was innocent when she welcomed me to her home part. 3 days passed since Olivia arrived at the cottage in the strange purple forest. Each day Lyra showed her new wonders of this world. They walked among crystal formations that sang when touched. They visited a lake where the water flowed upward in defiance of gravity. They gathered fruits that tasted like memories of childhood. Olivia learned that the planet was called Silva, named after the beings who inhabited it. The Sylvani, as Lyra called her people, were few in number but ancient in origin. They lived in harmony with the world, watching the stars and keeping to themselves. Why have humans never discovered your world before? Olivia asked as they sat beneath. Twin moons, one silver and one gold. The night sky was crowded with stars and nebulae more vivid than any Olivia had seen from Earth. Lyra brushed her silver hair from her face. Her skin glowed softly in the moonlight. We hide ourselves. Our technology allows us to shield entire planets from detection. We have watched your kind spread across the stars like fire, consuming everything in your path. We chose to remain unseen. There was an edge to her voice that made Olivia uncomfortable. Despite the hospitality she had been shown, she could not forget Ember's warning. The dragon had not spoken to her mind again, but she often caught him watching her with those intelligent golden eyes. Humans are explorers, Olivia said. We seek knowledge, not conquest. Lyra made a sound like wind through crystal. Not all exploration is innocent. Your kind moves quickly, colonizes without understanding the consequences. You reshape worlds to suit yourselves with no thought for the balance that existed before your arrivals. That's why I was brought here, to answer for the sins of my species. Lyra turned to her. The alien woman's eyes shifted from green to silver in the moonlight. Not to answer for them. Olivia Wells. Perhaps to help prevent greater ones. Back at the cottage, Olivia worked on repairing her communication device. She had gathered components from her crashed ship during expeditions with Lyra. The alien woman watched with interest as Olivia assembled the parts. Your technology is primitive but ingenious, Lyra commented. Your species accomplishes much with limited understanding. Olivia ignored the condescension, focusing on her work. If she could establish contact with Earth, perhaps rescue would come. Though increasingly she wondered if she wanted to be rescued. There was so much to learn here, so many wonders to document. What she did not notice was how Lyra studied her techniques, how the alien woman memorized each connection, each component. When Olivia slept, Lyra examined the human technology, incorporating principles into devices of her own design. Ember followed Olivia when Lyra was occupied elsewhere. The dragon would nudge her toward certain paths or away from others. She still did not know if he was truly Lyra's pet or something else entirely. During the night, Olivia dreamed again, dreams of vast spaces between stars, of battles fought with weapons that could crack planets, dreams of dragons much larger than Ember, soaring through the void without ships, dreams that felt like memories, though they could not be hers. The fourth day, Olivia rose early. She had nearly completed her communication device. She needed only a power source. Lyra had promised to help her find one today. The cottage was quiet. Lyra was nowhere to be seen. Ember, too, was absent. This was the first time Olivia had been truly alone since her arrival. She took the opportunity to explore. The cottage was larger inside than it appeared from outside. Corridors branched in ways that defied normal geometry. Rooms opened into other rooms, some filled with plants that moved with apparent intelligence, others containing crystals that hummed with energy. Olivia came to a door she had not seen before. Unlike the others, which seemed grown from living wood, this one was made of metal. It had no visible handle or lock, but it radiated cold. She placed her hand against the surface. The metal was not cold as she expected, but warm, almost alive. It pulsed beneath her touch. The door slid open. Beyond lay a chamber that broke the organic theme of the rest of the cottage. Metallic walls gleamed under harsh white light. The air smelled of ozone and something else, something familiar that Olivia could not immediately place. She stepped inside. The door closed behind her. The chamber was filled with objects Olivia recognized. Spacesuits not of Sylvani design but human. Several different models from different space agencies. Earth weapons ranging from simple projectile guns to plasma rifles. Personal items, photographs, identification, cards, data storage devices. With growing horror, Olivia realized what she was seeing. Evidence that she was not the first human to come to this world, not the first to be welcomed by Lyra. Along one wall stood a row of containers large enough to hold a human body. They were filled with clear fluid. In each floated what appeared to be a sleeping person. But as Olivia moved closer, she saw they were not sleeping. They were preserved humans in various states of dissection. The familiar smell she had noticed was formaldehyde, a preservation chemical. Her heart pounded. She needed to leave to get back to her room before Lyra returned. She turned toward the door. Lyra stood there. Her iridescent skin now had a hard quality like armor. Her eyes were solid silver without pupils. Her mouth was set in a line that conveyed neither surprise nor anger. "You were not meant to see this yet," the alien woman said. Her voice was no longer melodic but flat and cold. "But perhaps it is time you understood your purpose here." Olivia backed away, looking frantically for another exit. "There was none, do not fear." Lyra continued. "I have no immediate plans to add you to my collection. You are far more valuable, conscious. At least for now. What is this place?" Olivia demanded. "Why do you have human bodies?" Lyra gestured and the lights brightened, revealing more of the chamber. More containers. More preserved humans. And something else. Wall after wall of technological devices. Some human in origin, others clearly alien. "This is my laboratory," Lyra said. "My study of your species has been thorough. As you can see, you're not the first human to visit Silva, though you are perhaps the most useful one yet. Your technical knowledge is exceptional." Ember appeared behind Lyra, the Oi. Dragon was different now. His scales were deep crimson, his eyes glowed with inner fire. He made no sound, but Olivia could feel his anger. "You told her," Lyra said to the dragon, "that was unwise but not unexpected. You always had a fondness for their kind." Ember growled low and threatening. Lyra ignored him, turning back to Olivia. "The time for pretense has passed, I suppose. You should know the truth of why you are here." A panel on the wall slid aside, revealing a large screen. It activated, showing images of space battles, ships the size of cities firing weapons that tore holes in reality, dragons larger than mountains breathing fire that consumed stars, armies of beings that resembled Lyra fighting against forces of scaled warriors. "This is history," Lyra said. "Our history. The great war that shaped the galaxy. The war your kind has forgotten." Olivia could not look away from the images. They matched her dreams exactly. Thousands of years ago, the Silvani ruled half the galaxy. We were peaceful, advanced. We sought knowledge and harmony. Then came the Draconi. The screen showed the dragons, massive and terrifying, moving between stars without ships. They were conquerors. They wanted not just worlds, but the energy of life itself. The war lasted. Centuries, billions died. Stars were extinguished. Worlds were rendered lifeless. The images shifted, showing devastation on a scale Olivia could barely comprehend. We won eventually, at great cost. The Draconi were defeated. Those who survived were bound. To us, their powers diminished. They became what you see now. She gestured to Ember, small servants. Pets. Ember made a sound that might have been laughter or rage. But there was a problem. Lyra continued. The Draconi had seeded many worlds with their essence, their genetic material. They created your species. Humans. Olivia shook her head. That can't be true. Humans evolved on Earth. Did they? Lyra asked. Or were you placed there? Modified. Memory wiped. Scattered across distant planets after our victory. But your genetic memory remains. Given time and technology, you'll become them again. The Destroyers. The Devourers of Stars. Olivia looked at Ember. The dragon met her gaze. His thoughts touched her mind. She lies, the dragon said silently. Not about the war. That was real. But about who started it, about what we are. About what you are. Lyra seemed to sense the communication. Her eyes narrowed. Ember, cease. She commanded. The dragon growled, but fell silent. We have been monitoring human development for millennia. Lyra said, when you achieved space travel, we became concerned. When you began to colonize other worlds, we knew action was needed. What action? Olivia asked, though she feared the answer. We cannot allow the cycle to repeat. Lyra replied simply, we capture human, explorers like yourself. Study you extract information about Earth's military capabilities, technological advancement, biological weaknesses. We prepare. For what extinction? Of course. Lyra said as casually as if discussing the weather. We cannot risk. The Draconi rising again through you. A door on the far side of the chamber opened. Several more Sylvani entered. Their appearance was similar to Lyra, tall, slender, with pointed ears and iridescent skin. But these wore what appeared to be armor. They carried weapons that hummed with energy. Ember stood between Olivia and the newcomers, his body tensed as if preparing to attack. The new Sylvani spoke to Lyra in their musical language. The words hurt Olivia's ears. The council grows impatient. Lyra responded. In English, they wished to proceed with the final phase 1 of the armored Sylvani approached Olivia. He carried a device that resembled a crown made of crystal and metal. I thought the alien woman was innocent when she welcomed me to her home part. The spaceship shook violently as it entered the atmosphere of the unknown planet. Olivia Wells gripped her seat and watched the control panel flash with warning lights. The mission was supposed to be a simple survey of a newly discovered solar system, but something had gone terribly wrong. Olivia was a tall woman, with short brown hair and deep blue eyes that reflected years of space travel experience. She had been an astronaut for 10 years and had visited 17 planets, but she had never experienced a system failure this severe. The main engine died as the ship plummeted toward the surface. She could see strange purple forests through the viewport. Her heart raced as she prepared for impact. The emergency landing system engaged at the last moment, slowing the descent enough to prevent a fatal crash, but not enough to save the ship. When the motion finally stopped, Olivia opened her eyes. The cabin was filled with smoke. She unbuckled her harness and grabbed her emergency pack before forcing the hatch open. Fresh air rushed in, carrying scents that reminded her of cinnamon and something else she could not name. Olivia climbed out and surveyed. The damage the ship was beyond repair. The communication array was destroyed and the engine was a twisted mass of metal. She was stranded on a planet that, according to official star charts, should not exist. The forest around her was unlike anything she had seen on any world. Trees with bark the color of amethyst rose hundreds of feet into the sky. Their leaves shimmered between blue and green as they caught the light from the orange sun overhead. Strange birds with 6 wings soared between, branches calling to each other with musical notes that sounded almost like words as the orange sun began to set. The temperature dropped quickly. Olivia needed to find shelter. The survival training kicked in. She gathered what supplies she could salvage from the wreckage and began walking away from the crash site. The trees grew denser as she moved deeper into the forest. Luminescent fungi provided enough light to see her path. Strange creatures scurried away as she approached. Some looked like foxes but with scales instead of fur. Others resembled butterflies the size of eagles that glowed with internal light. None seemed dangerous, but Olivia kept her distance. She had learned on previous missions that even the most innocent-looking alien life could be deadly. After walking for what felt like hours, Olivia spotted a light through the trees. Not the natural glow of the fungi, but a steady warm light that suggested civilization. Hope surged through her. Perhaps this planet was inhabited by a spacefaring species that could help her contact Earth. She approached cautiously. The light came from a cottage nestled between 3 massive trees. The structure seemed to grow from the forest itself, with walls made of living wood and a roof of interwoven branches. A soft blue glow emanated from windows that were shaped like crescent moons. Before Olivia could decide whether to approach or observe from a distance, the door swung open. A figure stood in the doorway, silhouetted against the warm light from inside. The being stepped forward, and Olivia gasped. The woman, if she could be called that, was nearly 7 feet tall, with a slender frame that moved with impossible grace. Her skin had a subtle iridescent quality that shifted colors with each movement. Her ears tapered to delicate points, and her eyes were large and almond-shaped with pupils that reflected light like a cat's. They shifted from emerald green to silver as she tilted her head. Most surprising of all, she spoke, in perfect English. "Welcome, traveler, I have been expecting you. My name is Lyra. Please come inside. The forest is not safe." After dark, Olivia hesitated. How could this alien woman speak English, and how had she known to expect a visitor? The rational part of her mind warned of danger, but exhaustion and cold pushed her forward. Am Olivia Wells from Earth. My ship crashed and I need help. Lyra smiled, revealing teeth that were just slightly too sharp to be human. I know who you are. Olivia Wells, from Earth, and I promise you will find all the help you need here. The alien woman stepped aside, gesturing for Olivia to enter the cottage. The interior was larger than it appeared from outside. A fire burned in a hearth, but the flames were blue and gave off no smoke. Furniture that seemed grown rather than built filled the space. Plants unlike any Olivia had seen decorated the walls, some of them moving slightly as if breathing. And there, curled beside the hearth, was a creature that made Olivia freeze. It resembled the dragons from Earth mythology, but smaller, about the size of a large dog. Its scales shifted colors like oil on water, and small wisps of smoke escaped its nostrils as it breathed. It opened one eye to study Olivia's view. Iris was golden with a vertical pupil. This is Ember, Lyra said, noticing Olivia's stare. Do not worry. He will not harm you unless I command it. The casual threat was delivered with such a pleasant tone that Olivia almost missed it. She remained near, the door ready to run despite her exhaustion. Please sit. Lyra continued, you must be tired and hungry after your ordeal. I will prepare something for you to eat. Olivia hesitated, but finally sat in a chair that seemed to adjust to her body. The material was soft and warm. The dragon Ember continued to watch her with one eye, never fully waking but never fully sleeping either. Lyra moved to what appeared to be a kitchen area. Her movements were hypnotic, almost like she was floating rather than walking. She returned with a bowl of something that steamed and smelled delicious. This will restore your strength. It is made from fruits that grow only in this forest. They are perfectly safe for humans. Olivia wanted to ask how Lyra knew what was safe for humans, or how she spoke English, or how she knew Olivia was coming, but fatigue overwhelmed her caution. She took the bowl and tasted the contents. It was unlike anything she had eaten before, sweet and tangy, with a warmth that spread through her body immediately. While you eat, I will explain some things, Lyra said, sitting across from Olivia. Your arrival was foretold. My people have been watching yours for some time. We have learned your languages and customs. We have studied your biology. Have prepared for this meeting. Olivia tried to focus on Lyra's words, but her eyelids grew heavy. The warmth from the strange fruit spread through her limbs, making them feel distant. Who are your people? Olivia managed to ask. Why have we never encountered you before? Lyra smiled, that too sharp smile again. We are the Sylvani. We were old when your kind was still learning to make fire. We have remained hidden because we choose to be. The galaxy is a dangerous place. Olivia Wells. There are predators that even we fear. The dragon made a sound that might have been a laugh. Ember shifted position to face Olivia directly. Both eyes were open now, studying her with intelligence that seemed impossible for an animal. You should rest now, Lyra said, taking the empty bowl from Olivia's hands. When had she finished eating? She could not remember. Tomorrow we will discuss how to help you. Olivia wanted to protest, to ask more questions, but her body refused to obey. Her vision blurred at the edges, and the last thing she saw before unconsciousness took her was Lyra and Ember, exchanging a look that seemed far too meaningful. She dreamed of stars burning out of strange voices speaking in a language that hurt her ears to hear. She dreamed of dragons large, enough to wrap around planets of wars fought with weapons that could destroy suns. She dreamed of Earth seen from far away, watched by eyes that were ancient and hungry. When Olivia woke, sunlight filtered through the crescent moon windows. She lay in a soft bed in a small room. The walls were alive with slowly moving patterns that reminded her of flowing water. Her equipment had been placed neatly beside the bed. Her uniform had been cleaned and folded. She checked her communication device, but as expected, it showed no signal. The door opened and Lyra entered carrying a tray. Her silver hair was braided with tiny flowers that seemed to glow. You slept well, I hope, the first night in a new world. can bring strange dreams. Olivia sat up. How long was I asleep? Only one rotation of our world. Lyra replied, placing the tray beside Olivia. Eat, please. You will need your strength. The food looked similar to what she had eaten the night before. Olivia hesitated, remembering how quickly she had fallen asleep. It is not drugged, Lyra said, as if reading her thoughts. The sleep fruit is only given to new arrivals on their first night. It helps with the adjustment to our atmosphere. Why did you expect me? Olivia asked. How do you speak my language? Lyra sat on the edge of the bed. Her movements remained unnaturally graceful. We have been observing your world for centuries. We have learned much about you. Your crash was no accident. Olivia Wells. You were brought here. Before Olivia could respond, a sound, like bells, echoed through the cottage. Lyra stood immediately. That is the perimeter alarm. Something approaches from the forest. Stay here, eat, rest. I will return. She left before Olivia could protest. The door remained unlocked. Olivia considered trying to leave, but where would she go? She had no idea where she was or how to survive in the alien forest. The dragon Ember entered the room after Lyra left. He watched Olivia with those intelligent golden eyes. He made no threatening moves but positioned himself between Olivia and the door. Olivia had the distinct impression she was not a guest but a prisoner. And yet why had Lyra left the door unlocked? Why provide food and comfort to a captive? From outside came voices speaking in a musical language that made Olivia's head hurt to hear the same language from her dreams. Lyra was speaking with someone or something. Ember tilted his head as if listening. His scales rippled, changing from deep blue to purple to crimson.